Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thought find them, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He is the founder of a score machine and credit and funding strategies who helps entrepreneurs optimize their credit profiles. None other than Mr. Ali Badi.
How are you, Daniel? How are you? How's everything? Thank you.
Wow.
Pleasure to have me on the show.
Well, busy always, and you are most welcome, Mr. Ali. I did release I think, our episode on Entrepreneurship 101, and people love you there because I got like 5,000 downloads for the first day. Imagine, thank you so much for being part of that Entrepreneurship 101. And let's see what the big difference of abstract essay. Who knows, you will have a 7,000 downloads in the first day to publish our episode. But today, we will talk about how to stop guessing and start getting approved by institutions. So tell us, Mr. Ali, you help entrepreneurs stop guessing and start getting approved. Walk us through the fundamental misunderstanding most business owners have about how the credit and the banking system actually works.
So, our software, the way that we build it, changes the way that people think. The way that we do things, the way that we go about our system is made to take guesswork out. I know we've said it a bunch of times right now, but really truly takes the guesswork out of what needs to be done. And how we do it is very simple. It is utilizing a credit report that comes from a third party vendor, pulling it inside our software, letting our AIs with the system that we built go in, read through everything, and actually spit out what you need to do if you need to do something, or if you need if you need to actually go to institutional matching, just start institutional matching. And the way that we break it down is such a professional way that in our last live event that we did, we went 4 for 6 on institutional lending immediately on a Saturday. This is not during the week. This is when the institutions are closed. Through their pre-approval methods, we went 4 for 6, which means the software works at such a high capacity that the software is going to get you 4 out of 6 people are going to get funded when you run it our way.
Interesting, Mr. Ali. You say stop guessing. What is the cost of guessing? What do entrepreneurs lose in a time, money, and opportunity when they approach funding without understanding the rules of the game?
It's not that they don't understand the rules of the game. They were never taught the rules of the game. It's like going to watch a soccer match for your first time, but not understanding what actually happens on the pitch. And that is the way that I look at it and how we actually go through it. Everybody is not taught everything. We come from all different class systems. We come from all different areas. And what happens is when we come from all these different areas, it actually changes how we go about our things and how we go through our things. So, like, be real that I can start a business. It's not hard to start a business. Every country is different, but it's really not hard to start a business in today's day and age. You can start an e-commerce store with no shipping, no nothing. You can get a drop shipper here, you get a Stripe account or whatever the case may be. You do X, Y, and Z, and boom, with a little bit of marketing, you can start a business. But what happens is scaling that business. It's taking that business to the next level. And that's where we really thrive, because now it's taking the knowledge that you've learned in drop shipping or whatever you're doing, and now taking it to that next level. And how do we do that? Well, we say, okay, the things you were never taught, we're gonna create a brain, and it's gonna go and think for you. And then it's gonna tell you, you're either good or you're not good. And if you're not good, this is what you need to do to get good. Because what happens when you start to scale? When you start to scale, you need more money. And how do you get more money? Institutions. And when we say institutions, ladies and gentlemen, this is anybody that is lending you money. It's not just a bank. You can have private equity firms, you can have hedge funds, you can have all these different places that are lending money, which are called institutions. That's why we say institutional readiness and institutional funding or institutional matching, because we're matching you to the proper institution.
The credit systems often feels like a black box, mysterious, arbitrary, and designed to keep people confused. Is that confusion accidental or by design? How
By design.
does understanding and why behind the system change how someone approach it?
So it's by design. What happens is the design of the credit system is meant to keep the person where exactly they are, but it's also to be risk assessment. So if you're risk assessing a client, for example, I own a bank, I just opened up a bank, and I want to start a marketing campaign, right? What type of people do I want to attract into my bank? Well, Daniel, let's be real. I don't want to attract people that are not going to put money into the bank. Where would they naturally lie? A social score. A credit score is a social score. Okay, if your social score is high, that means you're going to have a good job, you're going to have good money, you're going to have X, Y, and Z, you're going to have a job. Good, all the good things that come with it. Well, what happens if you have bad credit? It normally means you fell on hard times, bad things are going on, all that stuff. Do you want said person in your bank? No. So the credit system is meant to keep a person where they are, to know their social score. It's not meant to help them. That's the way I put it. That's my opinion. Now, if you agree with my opinion, fantastic. But if you don't, it is what it is. But tell me somebody that has a good credit score, that has a really good credit score, that is not set up. And then tell me somebody that has a bad credit score that's really, really doing extremely well and not looking to scale, not looking to do anywhere, they're a billionaire. Very few and far between. So they meant to do that to keep you in the system, to keep you rocking and rolling. Now, are there people that have bad credit that make good money? Yes, absolutely. But you know what happens immediately when they need to move or go to the next step? I need to fix my credit. You fix your money problem, then you fix your credit. And then you go and you get institutional readiness and then institutional funding. Why is it that we wait so long? Why is it that we let the bureau dictate our scores? Why do we not look at this? Why do we stay in a place that this company gives us a number, we don't move? It's very simple. We don't have the tools to get out of it. We don't have the knowledge or the wherewithal to get out of it. That's why we built this system. That's what we did. We give you the tools, we give you the knowledge, we give you the ability to go out and do what you need to do so that the credit system can't keep you there. You are your own worth.
You are the founder of this core machine. What does the name signify about your approach? Are you helping people manipulate the system, master it, or something in between?
So if you master the score machine, you will master your score. If you follow the steps and follow the check marks, you will have a score that is undeniable, almost perfect. But if you don't follow that, you will be in a bad situation. So the score machine can produce a score for you by you going out and doing what it tells you to do, because that's what the institution is looking for. Where does the institution get their information from? From the bureaus.
Well said, Mr. Ali. What is the single most common mistake you see business owners make when it comes to their credit profile? Something that sounds so minor but cause them thousands of denied applications or unfavorable terms.
They don't know what's on their profile. That's the biggest thing. And if you want me to pinpoint, normally what will happen is, first off, they don't know what's on their profile. And then secondly, when they have somebody that does have a idea, they are so bad. It's not even funny. Their utilization is through the roof. They have collections, they have charge offs, they have so many different things that are hurting them that they're like, oh, I have a good credit score. And then they actually go see their credit score and they're like, oh, no, I really don't have a good credit score. So the first thing I would always start with is know your credit. Know your credit. That's what's holding you back. And if you know your credit, know what the perfect score dictates, what it means, then you will not be held back. A bank is looking for somebody that is risk averse. They're very low. They don't have to worry about anything. Okay, this person's going to pay their bills on time. They're going to do all that stuff, and that's what's going to happen. The bank knows when a client is not going to pay their bills. They know where they're going to run off. So at the end of the day, just make sure that you're always paying your bills. Credit score will show that.
Always paying your bills on time. Entrepreneurs often mix a personal and business credit without understanding the implications, Mr. Ali. What is the danger there, and what the point should a business owner establish completely separate credit identity?
Say that again, Diego.
Yes. So entrepreneurs often mix personal and business credit without understanding the implications. So what is the danger there? And what the point should business owners establish?
So business credit and personal credit are not interchangeable, but they start off on the same basis. Business credit is something that has to be built over time. Now, business credit cards or business lines of credit are not the same thing as a person that has a credit card. So what happens is a person that has a credit card normally is going to use that to fund their business. When they get out of that and your business is making money, then they're going to move over to the business credit cards and things like that, which will then start building the business credit, and inside the business credit will start growing the business to be a separate entity than a person. Knowing that the business credit cards at the beginning of your business are still tied to your personal. People will not give that truth and that factor. I will say this truthfully. Understand your personal credit is still tied to your business credit cards. It doesn't matter who's there, but they need somebody to be held accountable if they default. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense, Mr. Ali. So tell us, you talk about getting approved by institutions, isn't it? So, what are the key institutions entrepreneurs need to understand, like banks, alternative lenders, credit card issuers, and how do the approval criteria differ in ways that matter?
so banks. Banks are the best ones that I love that you're going to work with. You're going to have private equity, other types of money that you can get access to, which you're going to use a credit report to pull. But what happens is, when you start with the bank, getting approved at the bank is the biggest thing. It is really OPM, playing with other people's money. So what you need to do is focus on getting your profile correct to do OPM. So start with a basic 700 credit score. Everybody will tell you 680. I will never tell you 680. Because here's the thing. When you get to 700, you're going to start opening a lot more doors. When you get to 730, you're going to open up even more doors. A bank wants to deal with somebody with a higher credit score. The closer you get to 850, the more they want to deal with you. You're going to want to have low utilization. So the lower the utilization, the better off you're going to be. So when you sit with the bank, even with the private lenders, with the private people, those people are going to want to see the low utilization. The closer you can be to 1%, the better off you are. 30 is the threshold, but 1% is the closer to the 1, the better off you're going to be. And then you want to have comparables. What are comparables? You want to have something the bank can base the system off of. If you don't actually base the system off of anything, what happens? Then they cannot give you something comparable. So now, if I have, just using this example, I have a car loan, I have a mortgage, and I have 3 credit cards, right? Those are comparables. I have debt on my car, I have debt on my mortgage, and I have some credit cards that I have a little bit of debt on. If I keep all that bundle within 1%, right, of what I'm bringing in, keep everything nice and low, guess what? They're going to want to do business with me. And the more banking products that I have, the more business that they want to do. The less banking products that I have, the less business that they want to do. So we have to look at each institution and each place as somebody that wants to do business with you. You're actually qualifying them to do business with you by knowing that you're qualified to do business with them. That's the cool part. Now you can pick the best bank. Hey, I'm going to go to 5 different banks. I'm going to go 5 different lenders, and I'm going to sit down with these 5 different lenders. I'm going to say to these 5 different lenders, who's going to give me the best rate? Who's going to give me the most amount of money? Because realistically, it's about money. It's how much I can take out and how I can leverage that money to build my business and scale. And what is this the difference between? One leveraged account in one proper business can 2 to 4x a business. Why? I'm just going to use this again. I love the e-commerce one. I just dealt with an e-commerce client. So the story with the e-commerce is just crazy right now. Is we get the guy's credit fixed. And this is a personal client. So this is not what the software does, but we utilize the software for the funding aspect. So we fixed the client's personal credit. I just want to give that. Oh, is there credit repair in the software, stuff like that? No. That's what we do personally. I looked at client's file. I did everything with it to get the client's credits fixed, and then we went to the institutional matching. He runs an e-commerce business. He's doing mega bucks. He wants to scale. I said, so what are you looking for? He goes, I need a couple of credit cards, maybe a couple of lines of credit. Okay, fantastic. What are you going to be using these credit cards for? Oh, I'm going to be utilizing them for marketing and payroll and etc. Okay, so a line of credit can be utilized for payroll, but a credit card can be utilized for marketing. So let's stick with X, Y, and Z credit cards, which we'll find in the software, right? You still got to do your research. Software will show you the institutions to match you with. So we got the institutions. We look to see what was there. Boom, I pull the credit cards out. I apply, he gets approved, and then I go and get him a line of credit, knowing exactly what those need to be done. Those five things that we got him like $750,000. $750,000. Now, guess what? Just by getting him access that he didn't have to use his capital inside of his bank to pay for marketing, he's already 2x'd his business just by using an American Express Gold Card. Ding, ding, ding. That's a gem. American Express Gold Card, business gold card for marketing and ad spend. By just getting that, he was able to 2x his business just by that. Now, he's got his, his line of credit landing. Once his line of credit lands and everything's good, he's going to be good to rock and roll. And now by doing that, he'll be able to pay his employees. And then what is he doing? He's paying the loans back. He's not paying from his profits. Now he's paying from he's paying the loans back that he's taking from the institutions. What is he doing? He's building rapport with the institutions. So now when he wants to go ask the institutions for more money, what are they going to do, Daniel? They're going to give him more money.
Clever, Mr. Ali. So, who is the ideal client for the score machine? Is it a startup founder trying to get their first business credit card, or the established business owner looking to scale, or someone in completely different situation?
So, the ideal client is the person that is looking at funding or looking at institutional lending differently than everybody else. Not, I have a bank, I can go to my bank and I can get my information from my bank. What we need to do is look at institutional lending as such. I am the person that is going to choose what bank is right for me, and then I will go and access it. My clients right now are people that are looking to grow themselves and take themselves to the next level. My software is not cheap. I'm not going to sit here and tell them that it is. But for you, Daniel, and your people, they're going to get a nice little link over here where they can do some damage. We'll be able to, give them that our higher tier package for what is it, for $197. But the whole point is to make sure that when they come in, they're getting to that next level. They're getting to the level where they need to go, and that they're actually accessing the level that they need to access.
Well said, Mr. Ali. You position yourself as a strategist, not just a consultant. What's the difference between giving someone less of credit tips versus actually strategizing their path into institutional approval?
So when you do it, you have a large premium. So our premium that I normally charge for somebody to have me do this is 15% of whatever they get. So figure out $1 million, I make $150,000, right? But if you strategize, you put a little time and a little effort in, now you have a person that can make $150,000 make zero, and you can do it for yourself. And that's the key. When we built the software, it was about that. It was about understanding. It was about keeping yourself. It was about keeping the client and yourself perfect. And when I say client, I always explain this to the constituents and people that use the software. You are your own client. If you do not take care of yourself as a client, you'll never succeed in this game. You have to treat yourself as the client. If you don't treat yourself as the client, you're not going to do right by yourself. So saying that is treat yourself as a client, do right, become the strategist, use the strategies, go out and get yourself what you need. Don't pay somebody for something you can do. Mr. Daniel, you're on mute.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ali. Well done, well done. And many entrepreneurs approach credit with fear, shame, or avoidance, especially if they have been denied before. How do you help clients shift their mindset from credit is scary to credit is a tool I can master?
Love it. That's a great question, because that is a question that we built this software on this basis on. Once you know what they're looking for, there is no fear anymore. It's like going into a dark basement before you turn on the light. That's what credit is, the dark basement. But the minute you turn on the light, does the fear go away? Yes, because you turned on the light. This is what this software does. It is the light in the darkness where people are normally confused and not understanding. We turn that light on every single day, and we utilize that every single day to make sure that you can get yourself out of the basement with no issues. You can navigate the waters with no problem.
You teach people how the system works so they can work the system. Is there ethical line you draw? What strategies are off the table, and how do you ensure your clients build credit in a way that's sustainable and legitimate?
So the best part is 100% compliant. So if we're compliant by the law, all the things on the table are compliant, and all the things on the table are legitimate. We're not teaching them money laundering. We're not teaching them anything that isn't compliant, because when you're in the value level that we're at, and when you're at the tier that we're at, when you sit down and you look at a software like this, all it takes is somebody who doesn't like you to come and destroy you. But if you do what you do, you set up your lawyers, you set up all the people that need to get done, you are not going to do that, because we don't teach you how to do bank fraud. We don't teach you how to do wire fraud. We don't give you how to go to the bank and apply. We don't give you any of that. You have to learn the data points. You know what we give you? The opportunity to be able to do it with AI where all you have to do is now input all the stuff that you know. And that's the key. You can't defraud anybody. You can't do wrong by them. You can't do anything in this software that will hurt a person or hurt themselves. We don't allow you to apply for funding if your credit is not ready. We don't allow you to do a lot of things in the software if your profile is not ready. And that's the key. That's how we keep a moral high ground and make sure that everything is good. And that, let's be real, we're doing right by the people. That's the key. Today, they're paying us. That's different from when it's free. And when you start to pay a premium for something, you're going to start to actually want to utilize it the way that it should be utilized. And this is the key. They pay a premium for our service. And because they're paying a premium for our service, we want to make sure that they stay with us as we keep growing this.
So, Mr. Ali, to wrap up our discussion for today, what is the relationship between credit optimization and the broader goal of business growth? How does getting approved for funding unlock opportunities beyond just having more cash in the bank?
Say it again, Daniel.
Yes. So, what is the relationship between a credit optimization and the broader goal of a business growth? How does getting approved for funding unlock opportunities beyond just having more cash in the bank?
So cash will always be king, but credit is the queen. Okay. So
Yes.
the queen is the most important chess piece on the chessboard, because the queen can move from wherever they need to go. And the key is you got to let the credit work for you. Cash will always pay for the queen to do whatever she needs to do. But when you don't have the cash or the leverage inside of your bank, you're limited to what your bank has. So for example, say I need to spend $2,000 on marketing this month, but I only have $1,000. I can't spend money I don't have. But I can always leverage the bank's money to make my growth go higher. And that's the key. We want to make sure that we're leveraging the bank, leveraging our stuff, so that when we leverage it, it can grow our business. I can personal example, I can go from doing $25 in ads a day to $100 in ads a day, because now I'm not worried about what's in the bank. I know that it's coming in every day and I can pay it off daily.
Well said, Mr. Ali. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your projects, anything you want to promote on Abstract Essay?
So I'd love everybody to come come find me on thescoremachine.com. Always check us out on that. That's our number one baby. And then also check me out on Instagram at Mr. I Sell Money, all one word, Mr. I Sell Money, and that'll give you access to my Facebook, LinkedIn, all that stuff, where we do most of our business. Love to connect with anybody that's looking at this stuff. You guys can come in, work with us, talk with us. We also have a private community, which is called the Paid in Full Community on School. You get access to it for free when you buy any of our softwares or anything that we utilize. Because again, we're about giving back to the community, not hurting the community.
Indeed, people, let's support Mr. Ali Badi, because if you support him, for sure, more next generation credit intelligence will rise. So I have one more question, Mr. Ali. If an entrepreneur listening to this conversation has been guessing at the credit strategy, applying randomly, getting denied, not understanding why, what is the single most important question they should ask themselves thought to begin the shift from guessing to knowing?
Utilizing the software is going to stop the guessing. Understanding how the software goes about and utilizes your credit report is going to be the key. But you got to first understand your path. What am I guessing on? Is it just understanding my finances, or am I guessing at business? What am I using? What am I utilizing this stuff for? Where am I at? First, understand your path. Create your task. Then after you create your task, execute with flawlessness. And that's the key. If somebody doesn't know that they need marketing, right? and they go do this, and now they have all these credit cards, and now they have to pay. For example, say that I did it for them, and they have to pay me, but they have no business, they have no nothing. That's not an execution on something good. What we need to do is understand where we need to execute, how we need to execute, and that's what will prepare us for the next level. Very simple to prepare us, very easy to prepare us by understanding what we need it for. Once we understand the need, then we can solve everything else.
Mr. Ali Badi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. A pleasure being on the show.
Likewise, Monica people, see you soon.